Hello everybody, welcome to the United Stand. I'm Mark Goldbridge and it's Cunha to Manchester United. Here we go. I tell you what, if this is going to be the start to the transfer window for Manchester United, let's hope it's the start of an avalanche of incomings of players of the quality of this. It's been horrific this season. There are lots of things to analyse in the post-mortem of that, and yes, it's not been acceptable at all, but what I will say is this is a signing. If you've been part of the United Stand over the last few months, this is a player that many a time we've sat there and hypothetically said Cunha would be perfect for the Amorim system. Never really thought it was going to happen. Back in January, it was sort of feeling like he would be an Arsenal signing. But look, he was a player that you looked at with quality, playing at a team where he needs to take a step up with all due respect to Wolves. He's in his mid-20s. He's got that passion. He's got that fire. He's got that ability. He gets goals. He gets assists. He can dribble. He's got the right character. And I think Man United have got a real gem here. I think this is the sort of signing that we've known about it for a while. But anyway, what I should be saying is what Fabrizio Romano's put out. Cunha to Manchester United. Here we go. Verbal agreements in place between all parties involved. Cunha will sign until June 2030 with option till 2031. Wolves will receive 62.5 million clause value in instalments. Formal steps and contracts to be checked this week. This came in about 8 minutes ago. So this is hot off the press. Cunha is a Manchester United player, and we have here we go, the first one of the summer transfer window, so make sure you smash a like on the video. But as I was saying there, hello everybody, today's clip is supported by Sleeper. Before we dive in, let me tell you a bit more about Sleeper. This app is making serious waves. It was the #1 downloaded sports app in the US during the NFL season, even beating heavyweights such as ESPN and Yahoo. Sleeper isn't just popular, it's because they truly deliver the best fantasy experience. You get deeper customization, more league options, and all the bells and whistles that make managing your fantasy team a blast. But that's not all. Sleeper is growing a fantastic community with several million people using it daily for their sports fix. Sleeper has a broad appeal and is genuinely built for everyone. So, if you're looking to up your fantasy game, make sure to check out Sleeper by clicking the link in the video description. Trust me, you won't regret it. I think we've all got a lot of reasons to be negative, and that is fine. But this is our first signing. Let's smash a like on the video. Let's see if we can get 10,000 like we have in the past. It's a new signing. It's the right signing. We've got the wrong owners. We've had the wrong season. But these things, in a world of chaos, there can be moments of glory. And I think this is a good moment for Manchester United. Is it Ineos PR, says Rooney? The trouble is, it's always going to be Ineos PR. It's always going to be Glazer PR. And I'm actually grateful that you're saying that, because ultimately, I think too many times we've been shifted from the negativity by a new shiny toy. So I don't think that people like that should be classed as negative for saying, is it PR, this, that, and the other? Because ultimately, is it? Or is it the start of something? Pogba was PR. Zlatan was PR. Sancho was PR. All these good signings that we've reacted to together over the years have ultimately ended up with the club still getting worse. So I think what we have to do as fans of this great football club is acknowledge and be happy about things that we perceive to be good for the football club, but also be vocal and resolute on the fact that this won't be enough anymore. And I'm liking what I'm hearing and seeing from the fan base since the Europa League final loss on Wednesday. We will not be bought and diverted by these sorts of PR signings anymore. Cunha on his own will not make a big difference. Cunha on his own at Wolves, they were in a relegation battle and they finished the season well, but they weren't anywhere near the top half. Manchester United have just finished in the bottom half of the table. Cunha on his own is a brilliant signing, but he won't take us where we need to be. We need more. We need a lot more. And I think there's nothing negative about speaking positively about the signing and his suitability for Ruben Amorim, but saying we need a lot more than that. And it's not going to be enough. But what I would say is a positive is that they really could drag this out. They really could say, oh, it's back and forth. You know, we've got to cross the T's and dot the I's. But they're not. On the night of the final game of the season, they've delivered a here we go. you would have expected this would be tomorrow. It's 11 o'clock at night on a Sunday. So that is a positive for me. We're moving. And back to the player himself, what are your thoughts on it? Because I think it's a real positive for Manchester United. I think that, as I was saying before, I think this is the sort of player that if he was signing for Liverpool... The thing I will say about this, and I've said it a few times, is that when I see Man United signing players, I have to always go, would Man City have considered this? Would Liverpool have considered this? Would Bayern Munich have considered this? Would have Arsenal considered this? And the reality is, Arsenal did consider this in January. The reality is, I think he could be considered by players like that. Now, clubs like that. Now, I'm not saying they would go and sign him because those are clubs that are at the top echelon of their leagues and Champions League. But this is way above our pay scale. This is a sort of player that, if it works out, moves us up a level. I instantly am excited to see this player playing in one of the two number 10 positions behind our striker next season. I instantly think this is the sort of signing that makes us better. And he fits the profile, more importantly, before we talk about the talent, of exactly what many of us have been talking about. You've been talking about this. We don't want any more learner drivers. With all due respect, you look at people like Manu and Heaven and Garnacho, and there are Amas, and there are lots of others, and they're great, but they need nurturing, and they need time, and they need patience, and Dorgu. We need players for the now. We need players who are ready to go. And I look at Cunha, and he's Premier League proven, and he's in his mid-20s, and he's ready to step up from Wolves to a club where he can improve himself and prove himself. And I think these are the type of signings that Manchester United need to be making. Now, they're not obviously going to be the A-star signings that people probably want, but we've tried that in the past as well. But what we do need is experienced players who are hungry. And I see people who say, bad attitude. Bring it on. Good. So what's his bad attitude? When somebody leaves it in on him, he might leave a bit back in. You know, when a decision goes against him, he might actually have a bit of a shout at the referee. Or when somebody tries to take the piss, he might fly in with a tackle. Oh, I'm sorry. We used to have a player that called that, called Eric Cantona. We used to have a player like that called Wayne Rooney. We used to have a player like that called Paul Scholes. We used to have a player like that called Roy Keane. We used to have a lot of players like that who had a bad attitude. And I tell you what, he didn't do us a blind bit about at all. So I don't give a toss about that. I mean, look, I'm looking at clips of current Man United players getting on a flight to Malaysia, all having a big old laugh. Now, that's not to say they can't have a big old laugh in their own time, but, you know, they know they're being filmed, you know. So I want the right attitude at Manchester United. I don't care whether it's a bit of a bad attitude on the pitch, as long as it's a right attitude for the shirt. And is it a bad attitude when a player is passionate enough as a heavily paid footballer to actually start arguing with the opposition, to actually start, you know, towing the line and getting into tackles and stuff like that? I like it. But I like the player as well. As I say, I think looking at him, especially this season, but last season as well, because we did speak about him last summer, if we're being honest. But increasingly, I think he's mobile, he's strong, he can dribble, he can score, he can pass. And I think United need that in their team. I think there's a real lack of mobility in Man United's front line in relation to the ability to pass, the ability to shoot, the ability to dribble. And obviously, with Garnacho looking like he's going to depart, this probably does look like a natural replacement for Garnacho. And there's a sad element to that, but this is a player that you can drop straight into the team. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say he's definitely going to be a success. Any player can flop. I never thought Varane would flop when we bought him all those years ago. Anybody can flop. And, you know, there'll be a lot of people hoping he does flop. Maybe there'll be some United fans who hope he's going to flop. But realistically, any transfer can flop. I think the success rate of transfers is 60%. So, of course they can. But it doesn't mean you don't win the lottery without buying a ticket. You don't score the goals by not taking a shot. And I think this is the right shot for Manchester United to play. I think it's the right signing for Ruben Amorim, and is his first signing. I think it's a very good signing. So I'm very, very happy about it. And Goldbridge, that's the end of the clip. I'm sure you enjoyed it. In fact, I bet that's the best clip you've ever watched. So there's no reason not to subscribe to the channel, click the bell icon so you never miss a clip again. In fact, smash a like on the video because we all know only legends like videos and you are all legends. So please smash a like on the video and we will see you again on the next one. Thank you very much for watching as always.